Star Wars Rebels has come to an end. To look back on the series, I wanted to run down my top moments from all 4 seasons, the moments that I immediately think of when Star Wars Rebels comes up. I'll go through them in chronological order, starting in Season 1 and ending in Season 4. This should go without saying, but spoilers for the show are incoming. The Grand Inquisitor's first scene is when I knew the show would be something I could get behind long term. The first 3 episodes were a little too goofy for me, but the Grand Inquisitor immediately became a much-needed antagonist for the show, a capable and dangerous face for the Empire, and the trap he set for the rebels was pretty dark, using Luminara Unduli as bait, even though she was long dead. The Grand Inquisitor was the breakout character of Season 1 for me. Along those same lines, Grand Moff Tarkin's first appearance brought even more tension. He immediately shows up and puts the Grand Inquisitor in his place for failing to catch 2 not even fully trained Jedi. He also addressed the incompetence of 2 recurring Imperial characters by ordering their execution. We already knew Tarkin was not somebody you wanted to mess with, but he reminded us anyway. I guess I just really loved the villains in this show because next up we're talking Vader. Technically, he first showed up at the end of Season 1, but the Season 2 premiere was when he really got to shine. He took on Kanan and Ezra with ease, stopped some walkers from crushing him with the Force, and destroyed quite a bit of Phoenix Squadron by himself. This was the most badass canon version of Vader we had ever seen until Rogue One came out. With both Vader and Ahsoka in the show, it was only a matter of time before she learned the truth about her master in the episode Shroud of Darkness. That was a powerful moment in which Anakin's fate was revealed to her from Master Yoda. Meanwhile, Yoda officially knighted Kanan and explained to Ezra one of the central themes of the show: why we fight isn't as important as how. I come back to that conversation all the time. Since I'm not doing this in actual order, it's hard to know what my number 1 spot goes to. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the entirety of the Season 2 finale, Twilight of the Apprentice. The first appearance of Malachor in canon, the remains of a terrible battle there, the return of Maul, a 6-way fight with 3 Inquisitors, a Sith holocron, a new superweapon, and of course, the confrontation between Ahsoka and Vader. The final few minutes of this episode are some of my favorite in all of Star Wars, not just Rebels. Ahsoka's refusal to leave Anakin, the uncertain future of Kanan, and teases that Ezra might fall to the dark side. Admittedly, that last one didn't go very far, but I will always remember how I felt watching the Season 2 finale. Getting into Season 3, let's add another villain to the list, and I'm kinda gonna cheat because the moment I really want to talk about is the reveal of Grand Admiral Thrawn during Star Wars Celebration London. I was watching the live stream, but I remember leaping out of my chair when I saw his silhouette, and from that point forward, I couldn't hear the rest of the trailer.
Not simply that battle tactics, but their history, philosophy.
People went nuts, and for good reason, but that's more of a moment in fandom, so I'm gonna tack on my favorite Thrawn moment from Season 3. The episode Through Imperial Eyes was fantastic through and through, but the end gave me the Thrawn I had been waiting for. He got to bust out his Sherlock-style superpowers, deducing that Kallus was a traitor by examining evidence and art. It's classic Thrawn, and having Wolf Yularen in the episode was just a plus. Trials of the Darksaber is recognized as one of the best episodes in the entire show, and I would have to agree, but the final scene is what really makes it stand out. Sabine reveals a couple bombshells about her family and her past and the role she played in the Empire's takeover on Mandalore. Not to mention the episode gave us some pretty awesome lore about the first Mandalorian Jedi and some clues surrounding the origin of the Darksaber. While Star Wars Rebels as a show mostly told us about a single rebel cell and how it came to join the gradually growing rebellion, it also revealed some information on how and when the Rebel Alliance truly began. And the crew of the Ghost was there for it when Mon Mothma delivered a stirring speech to the galaxy, urging the oppressed to meet above Dantooine. It was exciting to see our main cast witness the birth of something larger than themselves. The duel between Obi-Wan and Maul is one of the first images that flashes through my mind when I think of Rebels. It was built up so much, and then it was over in an instant. Some people weren't crazy about that, but I loved it. I was so shocked, but the scene wasn't really about the fight. It was about the two characters. We got to see how much Obi-Wan had grown compared to Maul, who was stuck in cycles of anger and revenge. Their final moments together were touching, with Obi-Wan holding his old nemesis as he died. Star Wars Rebels has almost always had really solid premieres and finales every season. 0 Hour was no different, as we watched Thrawn launch an attack on Atollon where the Rebels had been hiding all season. While Through Imperial Eyes showed us Thrawn's talents in deduction, it was here that we got to see him actually work as a tactician. A concern I had with bringing in Thrawn was that he would be outsmarted by the main cast, and I strongly felt that that shouldn't happen. But here they are utterly defeated, and only survive because of the stupidity of one of Thrawn's underlings and the intervention of the Bendu, a being Thrawn never could have anticipated. While I think Season 4 overall was pretty good, the first standout moment for me didn't happen until the second half of the season. Kanan revealed that he was a Jedi in the very first episode of Season 1. At that moment, I knew his death was inevitable. In Jedi Knight, I don't think the writers were trying to even hide the fact that it would happen in that episode, but when it did, it was still very effective. Kanan Sacrifice was one of the most visually beautiful moments of the show. Kevin Kiner's score was perfection, as it often is. Seeing all the characters react to his passing was heartbreaking. Zeb and Ezra hugging, Chopper holding Hera's hand. I'm glad we got an episode to grieve along with the crew, because I needed it. A World Between Worlds aired only 1 week after Jedi Knight and was one of the best episodes of the entire series. Ezra jumps into a portal that takes him to a place that exists outside of space and time. He hears voices of characters in Rebels, the Clone Wars, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. Something about hearing audio from the films in Rebels was thrilling, but the standout moment is Ezra confirming that Ahsoka does indeed live by reaching through space and time to save her life. Last but not least, I have to mention several moments from the final episode of the series, Family Reunion and Farewell. Palpatine and Ezra's shared scene. The Imperial Royal Guard in all their cloakless armored glory. Gregor's pride at dying for a cause that he chose to believe in. Ezra and Thrawn's fate at the hands of the Purrgil, which included a call out to my boy Captain Pellaeon, and the final montage showing where all our characters wound up, including Ahsoka. I never expected the series finale to unseat Twilight of the Apprentice, and it didn't for me, but I'm always impressed when any series can pull off a truly satisfying conclusion. So those are my favorite moments from Star Wars Rebels. What moments are your favorites? What did I leave off that you think deserves a mention? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.